renewal of mind and reconfiguration of our thoughts that we are able to position ourselves to receive all the blessings that God has set aside for us. For it is not us who are waiting for the blessing, but rather the blessing that is waiting for us to be in the right frame of mind to receive it. You family, and welcome to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki, sending you love, light, abundance, and just, all this sunshine energy from the womb of the world, right in the heart of Kenya. Just may perpetual protection, perpetual healing, perpetual restoration be your story, be your narrative in this season as we come back to ourselves and reclaim our world. And I really wanted to talk about how family, it's really important that we don't be naive at this time, that we recognize what's really going on. And even if others don't see it, if you're blessed and graced enough to see it, then take what you're seeing for real and make sure that you are reconnecting to your spiritual realm, to your spiritual ancestors. Because we all know that Africa was invaded, it was colonized, our people were enslaved. Those are the narratives, and none of that has ever been resolved. We all know that, when the colonialist said he was giving us independence, he actually went out the front door, turned around and came in through the side door. It happened in the 60s with countries like Kenya and all this. It happened even in the 90s when South Africa tried to end apartheid. I could get so deep into that, where literally the Mzungu still remained in control. And all that changed was a title, but the lifestyle for the majority of our people did not change. And I think there's been this naive nature, there's been this naive understanding of what's really going on. We are not in control of the motherland. Even if you see someone that looks like I is now the president, is now doing this, they are not in control of those nations. They've shown you by always picking things, and it's beyond corruption now. You see, the Babylon narrative wants you to think that our leaders are so corrupt. They're so this, they're so that. But it's like generation after generation of leaders that have come in the last 60 years all turn into the same thing. They all become the same kind of clone. Babylon's clone, Babylon's puppet. And they're not all the same coming in. And so we have to stop being naive about how things are done, because if we don't really admit what's going on, then we perpetuate the system. If we still think, Africa, because I see some of the comments where people are like, come on, Kenya, get Billy out of there, make your government do this, make your government do that. But we don't have the power to do that. Not only here, even in the divided states, even across Europe, we don't have that power across the Caribbean. Those nations, it's an illusion that we're the citizens of those nations, that we own those nations. That's the illusion. That's the psychosis. That's the mental illness we're in, family. And as long as we see it like that, then the enemy of our souls, the real rulers, can continue to exist, because they can only exist in secret. Because if people were to accept, no, how can this be happening? I don't own Kenya, Kenya owns me. I don't own Ghana, Ghana owns me. I don't own South Africa, South Africa owns me. My soul was sold to them when I got the birth certificate. Check the whole vibe on the birth certificate and what it actually means, family. How it's like, even that is a spell. Because if we controlled Kenya, we'd be able to say no to this and yes to that. It would be our will running things. But things are running against our will. And so the time of being naive has to end. because nothing will change as long as we remain naive. It only takes us switching what we think here. And really, I mean, everything has been exposed, family, especially in the last 20 years. In the last 2 years, so much has been revealed. So much has been exposed about how private companies are making decisions. So much was shown to us and revealed to us when, even like with the whole COVID thing, family, where our governments could not even, our governments were rushing to find solutions. It's like, sit down. This is we've already, the solution is here and this is what you're going to give your people. We didn't have a choice in that. Presidents lost their lives because of that. It's like we still don't see it. We're still naive. And as long as we are in this denial or in this like cognitive dissonance where we can't believe that the most evil thing has been done to us by people who invented and have told you that their whole process, their whole chaos magic is they create a problem, they stir it up in the people where the people panic and demand a solution, and then they provide the solution for you, which they'd already created when they created the problem. And as long as we're naive enough to think that just because we're this, we're the ones in control of Kenya, or just because they say we're citizens, no, because these things are run spiritually. The invasion of the motherland was a mental, psychic operation. We're told by our ancestors, first they put a spell of sleep over us, and then they sent in their people physically, because it was already done spiritually. And the same formula has to be used now. First, we have to break the spell over our people, the religious psychosis over our people, the total, actually split personality disorder. Because you see, there is no room for the African in the Mzungu world. And existing in that world, you have to give up your indigenous nature, your Africanness. In fact, there's a book I've been reading called Ritual. You guys need to discover Malidoma. Special shout out to my sister Modoni, who introduced me to him. Very powerful. Man of this time, man of the hour. And he describes the entire Babylon system as a machine. Nature and the machine cannot coexist. And so you give up too much by trying to exist in Babylon, and you give up even more. You ensure that you remain a slave when you're naive to what they're doing, because they have to tell us. How many times have we said this? They have to tell us what they're doing before they can do it, because it's our spiritual energy that manifests reality. Everything comes from the spiritual. So they manipulate the spiritual where the narratives are written. And they put out these narratives and they try and capture you with emotion, with low all they can do is the low vibrational. And then they get you to create the reality they want you to create for them. And then they laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh and continue living large. And they keep you in this cycle of, we want to be free, we want, and it remains a want. But it's totally powerless. And they've unanchored us, if that makes sense. They removed our anchor. And our anchor was our ancestors, the spiritual realm. That is the flow that we came in through. That's the line we're supposed to, that's the eternal line we're supposed to be on. The infinite story, where time is not real, but now we shifted into the timeline of time. And that removes us from our eternity and from our spiritual connection and family. Unless we do this spiritually first, where we reestablish our kingdom spiritually first, there we're wasting our time physically. And the reason I keep tooting the same horn with a different beat is because this is the heart of it. So many people are contacting me, oh, we're going to go to the UN and do this, oh, we're going to go to the, to the African Union and demand this, oh, we're going to do this, oh, demand this from your governments. But you're moving in no power, because those people who are there are using spiritual power to be there. Or the people whose puppets they are, the puppeteers are using spiritual power to manipulate them and keep them there, but to also manipulate the entire system where they control the seats of power. And that's what we need to realize. They control the seats of power, which means they control the power. But you know what? My alarm is going off. My phone is going off. So I'll take that as a sign that it's time to sign off. Stay uplifted, family. See reality for what it really is. Until next time. Tuko pamoja.
Hear a clarion call. It's time to rise and shine. Time to get what's mine. Yeah. And I want it all, beyond the riches of the world, to the promises of God for my life.